Hi, I'm Cherish Fleeter, designer of somethingtocherish.com, and I'm excited to share with you today an easy way you can cover a mason jar with decorative tissue paper. To begin, all you're going to need is your mason jar with lid, and I'm using a Mod Podge with sparkles in it today, plus water and a paper towel for cleanup. And don't forget a pair of scissors, of course, and a paintbrush. So, to begin, what I'm going to do is cut out a piece of tissue paper that will wrap all the way around the jar. And I'm not too concerned how long it is because I'm going to actually fold the bottom over and then around the top. So on this finished jar, you can see how that'll actually end up covering the whole jar. Now that you're sure that the tissue paper will completely cover around the jar, you're going to want to actually clip the edges of your paper just a little bit, so that way they'll fold nicely around this curved area. And then I'm going to also figure out where this bottom curve is going to be, and then also clip about every inch or so, or even quarter of an inch. That way it'll fold nicely, kind of like a little bit of a fringe. So now that is ready to go, I'm going to get out the Mod Podge, and we're just going to start coating it along the side, turning it as you go. I like to do about half at a time so that way it doesn't get too out of hand. And then smooth it down as you rotate the jar, and then you'll continue adding Mod Podge to the other half of the jar. And don't worry if it gets a little messy, because we're going to actually be sealing the complete jar with the same sparkle Mod Podge for a sealer at the end. Alright, so now I'm going to add a little bit of extra Mod Podge at the neck of the jar so I can get everything covered. And I'm just going to go around and I'm going to do one flap at a time. Sometimes I'll do every other flap to give a nice even appearance. And if it's a little long, you can just trim it off. It's no big deal. This is such a great project for beginners because it doesn't have to be perfect, and the tissue paper is so forgiving. If it wrinkles a little bit, it actually looks cooler that way. So feel free to experiment and try lots of different things. To finish up, I'm going to add some Mod Podge to the bottom, and I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to fold the layers over the bottom. And if you want, you can actually also Mod Podge onto the lid of the jar, just using a scrap piece of the tissue paper. I'm Cherish. Thanks for watching this video on how to cover a mason jar with tissue paper. I hope you'll go live life to the fullest and make it something to cherish.